Here's how to answer this AQA GCSE physics question that a lot of students got wrong when it came up in the GCSE paper. The question reads, the air pressure in a car tyre changes if the temperature of the air in the tyre increases. Explain why. 4 marks. Now when looking at pressure, I find it's very easy to start off with looking at the formula. The formula for pressure is equal to force over area. Well, when looking at what can change the pressure, there's 2 factors that can do that. That is the force and the area. Well, because the car tyre doesn't change its area, it remains the same, we can cross that off as something that might change it. So the only thing that in this scenario can change the pressure is the force. So that is definitely going to be a mark. Well, let's have a look what happens when we change the temperature. Well, if we increase the temperature of any group of particles, the kinetic energy of those particles increases. So this means that when we have, let's say this is the tyre, we have particles within the tyre. By increasing the temperature of the tyre, the particles are going to be moving a lot faster. This means that they're going to be colliding more with each other. But that doesn't increase the pressure or decrease the pressure. Because the kinetic energy is increased, they're also going to be colliding with the surface a lot more. So particles are going to be exerting a greater force on the external wall of the tyre. There's going to be a greater force per meter squared. Meter squared stays the same because the area is staying constant. The area of the tyre doesn't change at all in this scenario. But because they're moving faster, there's going to be more collisions, so more force is exerted. Because there's an increase in force, there's going to be increase in pressure. So let's have a look at how we're going to word this. First thing we're going to say is that as the temperature increases, the kinetic energy of the air particles increases. If that increases, that means that there's going to be an increase in collisions with the tyre walls. This means that there is a greater force in each collision. As a result, there is an overall greater force per meter squared, because remember the area is staying constant, which ultimately leads to a greater pressure. Now here it's really important to specifically say what the change in the pressure is to get that last mark. And that there is your 4 marks. Remember that if you need more help just like this, sign up to tuition with the link down below.